AI will replace healthcare workers within 3 years. I just got back from a medical AI conference, and one of the keynote speakers said something that really shook me. He said that AI is going to replace most of the healthcare workforce within 3 years. Not assist, not augment, replace. That includes doctors, nurses, physical therapists, respiratory therapists, support staff, the list goes on. Basically, AI will handle diagnostics, documentation, and all patient communication from scheduling to billing to medical records. I don't think healthcare providers will go away entirely, but medicine is going to look a lot different in the coming years. Hopefully it'll be for the better. What do you think?
I warned you guys, man. I warned you guys a long time ago. I said, Donald Trump, when he gets back in office now, he's going to get back in and do all the things that he wanted to do that he didn't do in his first term because he learned the game. Now he's making money hand over fist. He doesn't care about the American people. A lot of you MAGA out there, you fell for it. Donald Trump been rich all his life. How does he relate to the average nurse or the construction worker? He doesn't relate to you at all. But you voted for him because of racism, right? Let's look at what they're doing now. Nurses no longer considered a professional degree by the Trump administration. Change means student loans are limited for nurses, physical therapists, physician assistants, right? The Trump administration is no longer considering nursing as a professional degree as it begins rolling out student loan changes in its One Big Beautiful Bill Act. This means getting financial help to complete advanced degrees in nursing and other healthcare professions, right, could become more difficult at a time when Wisconsin is facing a shortage. Under the U.S. Department of Education new definition of professional programs, nursing, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, physical therapy, and audiology programs are now excluded and must follow a new borrowing limits. Man, they not playing, man. Students and programs that are designated as professionals, including doctors, dentists, and lawyers, can borrow up to $50,000 a year, or a total of $200K under the new guidelines. All other graduate students can borrow up to $20,500 a year, or a total of $100K. The plan also eliminates the Grad Plus program that allowed graduate students to borrow up to a full cost of attendance. In a statement, the DOA said the changes place common sense limits and guardrails on the future student loan borrowing and simplify the federal student loan repayment system. So a lot of nurses are in trouble. According to several nursing groups, the rule change could have far-reaching consequences for nurses seeking advanced practice roles, leadership positions, and other graduate levels. Listen, they got robots coming to take y'all place very soon. But this thing gets real. This thing gets real heavy, man. It gets real deep. Jennifer Kennedy, president of the American Nurse Association, said limited access to funding for graduate education threatens the foundation of patient care. In many communities across the country, particularly in rural and underserved areas, advanced practice registered nurses ensure access to essential high-quality care that will otherwise be unavailable, Kennedy said in a statement. So a lot of people are upset about this, man. A lot of people are upset, especially a lot of MAGA people. Check this out.
Trump, you are on my last nerve, and I have been a fan from the beginning. I was all for MAGA, whatever the fuck. Make America great again, right? Can't make America great if you ain't got nurses, right? Because apparently they're not professionals now, right? Apparently they have not made the Trump administration list for professional jobs. They left nurses off. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I know they got a proofreader somewhere doing their job. So what do you mean nurses are not professionals? People that are saving lives. Are you kidding me right now? Nurses are literally the branches of doctors. And you're not just talking about like nurses. We're talking like, it's talking like nurse practitioners, physicians, assistants, and up. Medical doctors. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now I want to see this list of professionals. But at the end of the day, someone who understands the anatomy of the body and how it works and the homeostasis of the body and how all of it works together. Trump, you better hope something don't happen to you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So now you having these major layoffs and MAGA's going crazy. They don't know what to do. It's affecting people everywhere. You know, they laid off like 300 nurses over here in southeastern Pennsylvania, over here where I live at, outside, right in Pottstown, right? I mean, they just laid off a bunch of nurses. People don't know how they're going to pay their bills. You have the holiday season coming. You have people who are desperate right now. Like it's sad, man. It's really bad right now. It's really bad. I don't know. I don't know what people are going to do. Check this out.
What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So hop on in. We are headed to Pennsylvania, where a bunch of nurses just walked into work to find out they've been laid off. Yeah, 350 workers been laid off from Pottstown Hospital. Nurses are saying they're blindsided. They had no idea. And they're trying to process all of this. They don't know what they're going to do. They're just trying to process it right now because they were laid off out of nowhere. They're in a union, and they said that, you know, this layoff language, protection language, was in the contract. They laid off nurses in the ICU, float pool, closed down one of the med-surg units. Devastating.
Our health today leave hundreds in our area out of a job.
The health network says the layoffs are due to what it calls financial challenges facing healthcare providers.
The job cuts are hitting one hospital and Tower system especially hard. 69 News reporter Caitlin Reardon joins us live from Tower Health headquarters in West Reading with more. Caitlin.
Yeah, guys, well, most of the layoffs are happening at Pottstown Hospital, but a number of them, including nursing and clinical positions, are also happening at Reading Hospital. Today, we got a chance to speak to some employees who are affected.
We didn't see this coming. We're still trying to process this.
It was a sudden blow to 350 employees in the Tower Health Network after hundreds of layoffs were announced Friday. More than 130 of them are happening at Pottstown Hospital.
They're actually going to be closing several departments. They're going to be closing our intensive care, our cancer infusion center, outpatient endoscopy suite. They're going to remove the float pool nurses and also close the second floor med-surg step-down unit.
Renita Robinson was a nurse at Pottstown Hospital who was let go in this round of layoffs.
Just still in shock, trying to process everything that's happening. It's hard right now for me to figure out what is the next plan without even knowing anything by management.
An internal communication to employees from Tower Health President and CEO Michael Stern pointed to increasing financial pressures and uncertainty of healthcare systems nationwide as part of the reason for the cuts.
So they're letting over 130 nurses go from that one hospital. And then up in Renton, they're letting them go scores of nurses up there. So they're getting rid of the ICU, the cancer center, right? The nurses at the cancer center, the outpatient, right? So many different things. So overnight, these people, they go home, they clock out, they come back in, they find out that they got to go find some new employment, right? And if they having mass layoffs here, what makes you think you're going to get hired over here? Oh man, this thing is real goofy. But he said Trump is doing everything that he said he was going to do. But I need you guys to understand something. Don't think for a second that when the Dems get back in, that they're going to roll back these things. Once it's set in place and it's set in motion, they're going to enhance the big beautiful bill. They just use them as the bad guy. That's all. So they going to come back. They may tweak a little here and there, but they ain't rolling nothing back. They're not going to roll nothing back. Where we're going is where we're going. And they got machines coming in by 2040 that's going to be able to do all this stuff, man. They preparing everything, man. They preparing everything. So people are reporting this.
On this edition of FAFO, titled, I voted for you and I thought my career was safe. So the Department of Education has done a reclassification of certain degrees that are now deemed non-professional, meaning that certain fields that were previously considered professional will no longer qualify for the higher federal student loan limits needed for graduate school as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill that was signed into legislation recently. And the following careers include nursing, physician assistants, physical therapists, audiologists, architects, accountants, educators, social workers, engineering, business master programs, counseling or therapy, and speech pathology. And in response to this, Wendy Brinley Hines wrote this on the White House Facebook page, saying, "Please remove the limitations of professions. As a professional nurse who has her master's degree, and as someone who voted each time for you, I cannot believe that you would disrespect our profession." Additionally, our middle daughter will graduate as a physical therapist in 1 month, and our youngest is planning on becoming a physician's assistant, all of which take care of patients on a daily basis. Grad school is very expensive. Trust me, I know. I have paid my way myself for each level of education. Please reconsider your thoughts on this bill. We all need professional staff that can afford education in their effort to care for our nation. Oh, Wendy, you have a master's degree, yet you voted for him yet again. Because that sounds like a very uneducated decision on your part 3 times. And I genuinely do feel bad for those that did not vote for him who are actually trying to pursue careers in these fields. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's a section in Project 2025 that wants to shrink the healthcare system as much as possible. Because some people out there think healthcare should be a privilege and not a right. And Wendy, if you do see this, I genuinely hope that you have the day that you voted for. Because this decision is genuinely screwing a lot of people over.
So, you know, what I don't like is you have a lot of Democrats that keep saying, well, this is who you voted for and this is what you voted for, as if this wasn't coming anyway. It's just that the Republicans just are the first ones to do it. But everything that the Republicans are doing and rolling back is the Dems would have been forced to do it at some period of time too. AI and technology is just coming in, and they don't need human bodies to do the job anymore. I've been telling you guys this for the last 10 years online. So now you see it unfolding. I've been warning y'all about the 2030 agenda, the 2035, the 2040, and what America's going to look like by 2050. I've been warning you guys. I've been showing you all the technology and things that's going to be in play by 2030, right? Preparing you for all the other agendas that's set in place. So everything now it's just moving along steadily. But because y'all was asleep, you was partying, you was turning up, you was having fun. None of y'all was paying attention. When we talked this stuff, y'all called us conspiracy theorists. Oh, joke's on y'all now. Because nobody was preparing for this kind of stuff, man. They got machines coming in. That's why they social engineered you to not even want to have babies today. You don't even want to be married. Y'all don't even want to be together and make children because you don't realize you're being socially engineered to think this way. Your thoughts are no longer your thoughts. They control that. And they got machines. They don't need you to work in factories for 15 hours and 30 hours and all that kind of stuff no more. Working these cubicles. They told you can work from home. They got machines ready to replace you. And so now you got the people talking like this.
One thing that nurses don't understand is that the hospital needs us way more than we've.
Cap.
Yeah, sure, it's a job. I just got fired. I'm going to get replaced by somebody who's making, $18, $20 less an hour. Like, obviously they don't care about that. They're actually saving money for me. But if these nurses open their eyes and see what's happening, it doesn't take a genius. You're sitting here telling us that you can't give us an extra CNA that's like $12 or $15 an hour to make our lives so much better and easier. The patient's life at the hospital so much better and easier. If literally just or put in an experienced phlebotomist so these nurses aren't having to do lab draws and missing, sticking the patient, and now their day is just longer and busier and they're missing stuff. So if you just give us such a small piece of the puzzle, it would make everything so much better. But they don't, because they do not care about the patient. They don't care if the patient is sitting. They might say that they do, but they don't. Because if they did, they would give the staff a CNA.
I have an update for y'all who have been waiting for one. I was fired. I was contracted at a local hospital. I showed up for work, and all I was told was, you are not supposed to be here, and they sent me home with no reason. The next day, my agency contacted me to tell me that The hospital's reason was my TikToks, which broke no rules, no HIPAA violations, and did not mention which hospital or company I work for. And that they were looking into it, they didn't agree with the hospital's decision, and that they would let me know when they knew more.
So some people ask the question, well, why don't we have universal health care in this country? We live in the greatest and richest country in the world. Why don't we have health care? Well, there's a reason why you don't have health care, and it has everything to do with foundational Black Americans and America's greed and racism. Check it out.
So we don't have universal health care because of anti-Black racism?
So which led him to his second hypothesis, which was in his book, Race Traits in 1896, which was that if white people who control the politics and most of the economy of the United States simply deny health care to Black people, the Black race, again his phrase, would die out in 2 or 3 generations. And that would, quote, solve the race problem in America. Frederick Hoffman took this theory, pitched it to Congress, gave lectures all across the United States to state legislatures, met with governors, to physicians groups. He was beloved by those establishments. By the way, he was the co-founder of the American Lung Association. I mean, the guy was no slouch. He was powerful. He was famous, and people took him seriously. Woodrow Wilson. And this is why in 1912, when Teddy Roosevelt proposed a single-payer health care system to cover everybody as part of his square deal plan when he was running for president for re-election, this was why that got shot down, because white people, including the medical establishment, white people by and large said, particularly the white racists in the South, said, wait a minute, if you cover everybody with health insurance, you're going to be covering Black people too, and we can't have that. So that ended that discussion in 1912. It's also why they came after Franklin Roosevelt in 1936 when he proposed a single-payer system. It's why they came after Harry Truman in 1947 when he proposed a single-payer health care system. But Black people, we can't do that. Black people will get that health care. And this is why they came after John Kennedy in 1961 when he proposed a single-payer health care system. And it's why when Lyndon Johnson and Robert Ball were writing the Medicare law in 1965, the Southern racist conservative senators came to them and said, you need to build into this thing a bar high enough that poor Black people in the South, and 60% of Black people live in the South right now. It was even a higher proportion back then in the 1960s. So the poor Black people in the South won't be able to jump over that bar and show up in our all-white hospitals. So they took Medicare Part B, which is the part that pays for hospitalization, and said, we're only going to pay for 80% of the hospitalization. There'll be a 20% gap, which is the gap that you fill in with your Medigap policy now. That gap was to prevent Black people from presenting themselves in hospitals unless it was just an absolute screaming life-ending emergency. So from the beginning through the 1960s, the reason why the United States never acknowledged health care as a right rather than a privilege was because of Hoffman's theories and white racism. I mean, they were just like intertwined. And American racism, I don't know how else to say it. And that prevailed right up until the 1980s, that kind of thinking and that kind of opposition to any kind of health care program.
So you got CEOs making money hand over fist. The president somewhere, with a cigar in his mouth and a martini in his hand, with two bombshell blondes right here on a yacht, on a $6 billion yacht with a whole bunch of rich nerds, right? They making all kinds of money. You over here eating sardines and don't know where your next meal gonna come from, because this is where we at, right? Because they already checkmated the game with the technology now. The old economy and the old way of world is done. They don't care nothing about that no more. They don't need you to produce bodies no more to actually work to build the economy. We're in a technological age now where they can do everything with machines. They can do everything based with off the system with machines. They checkmated the game. They checkmated the game. This is why they're getting rid of nationalities and they're getting rid of They getting rid of genders and all this all the stuff that made the old world, man, they wiping all that stuff out, man. They telling you, oh, we was just BSing around, man, we was just playing. Oh, black and white, y'all can live in the same hoods, gentrify and put them all in the same community together. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do now. We was just playing, we was using y'all to get rich. System is dead. System is done. Right? And I'm telling you, man, they coming in, man. Just look in the next 5 years where this thing gonna be. If you worried now, watch in the next 5 years. So if you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time. Peace.